Hey everybody, welcome to False Reality Check. This is Buffalo Rambler.
This is Mrs. Rambler.
And we have another episode for you today. Just a conversation where we're kind of catching up and seeing how our week went. But we did get some emails and we did some shout outs. So we hope you guys listen for your shout out if you emailed us. And we had a pretty deep discussion, I think.
Yeah, we touched a little bit on COVID, vaccines, how our week went, food, the importance of food in our health.
Yeah.
And circumventing the government.
Circumventing, not complying, but circumventing the government, and a little bit about agorism, but we'll go into it much deeper in another episode.
Yeah.
But we hope you enjoy the episode. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at FRC Pod. And you can also email us. We do enjoy your emails. We will respond and talk with you I believe our email address is frcpodcast@protonmail.com.
That's it.
And we're also on Float and Gab at False Reality Check. And to announce, we don't have sound clips. But we have a website now. It is falserealitycheck.com.
Wow.
So we talk about it a little bit on the show, but it is going to be kind of a central hub where we're going to post our podcast episodes and posts with more information, kind of follow-ups to our episodes, pictures and blog, kind of posts about our journey up and getting the hell out of California.
Yes.
So
yeah, and if you have any cool stories that you want to share with us, we can throw that up on the website too.
Yeah, we want it to be
cool photos,
a database of stuff,
Yeah, any recommendations on pickling or just
canning or hunting,
farming,
foraging,
anything.
Yeah,
anything useful.
Yeah,
we can definitely throw it up on the site
for sure. And if you're interested in talking to us, you have something to say, you want to bring it to the show, you have a topic you like to enjoy or something that you think would help us out, especially in our growth, reach out to us in our email. We will talk to you. We will figure out a schedule and we will meet you and talk, and you will be on the show for sure. So we really hope you enjoy this episode of False Reality Check. And yeah, anything else, Mrs. Rambler?
I think that's it.
All right. Cool.
All right, everyone. Enjoy the episode.
Hello.
Oh, hi there.
Oh, hello. You're only looking at me in the face.
We're only 4 feet away.
Probably less.
Oh.
It's a small room.
I mean, yeah.
We've been closer. It's okay.
Oh.
Don't worry about it.
Shh. It's graphic. So how was your week?
Work or I don't like to talk about that. It is what it is.
Right.
It is what it is.
Yeah, work's a little weird. It was a little slow this week for me.
I wish it was slow for me. Yeah, it just kept going. I was like, holy shit. One meeting after the other. It's weird. I'll have like 1 week where it's just meeting after meeting after meeting on a daily basis, Monday through Friday. And then I'll have the next week that won't be that bad. I'll have sporadic meetings here and there. And then it just rotates. That the following week is exactly like the week prior. And it's like every other week like that. And it's never fully balanced. And the more they, we just got a new hire and that's supposed to balance us out. It's not really balancing us out.
Oh man.
They're trying to figure out where else they can put her. And it's kind of like as soon as everybody gets settled into a flow where we're all kind of work balance, where we have a balance with our life, the company's like, fuck that shit. We're gonna do something else. We're gonna take these people from this group and we're gonna put them in this other group. And even though they're not trained, because we're smart, we figured things out, and this is how we're gonna do it.
Yeah. Once you get into a flow, they just mess it up, right?
Yeah.
So leave it to the corporations.
Yeah. But they must be doing something right. They got 44% profit because of COVID.
Oh.
COVID gave them a profit.
Oh, that's amazing.
It's amazing.
And a lot of small businesses just
disappeared.
Gone.
Yeah. It's also amazing that most of that profit comes from government money.
Oh. Was that in the stimulus?
It was, no, the stimulus was for people. This was, well, and the business stuff was for businesses, but the medical stuff, like every time a hospital, pays out insurance, if you have COVID, it's like 32,000 or 40, so I don't know, something 40,000. I don't know. It's some ridiculous number, but that money goes to the insurance. So the insurance collects all that stuff. Or, if you're on a government plan, like if you're on, like, what is it? Medicaid. It's going to flow through the government, but most of those plans are administered by insurance companies. Oh, man. So all these insurance companies have like amazing profits right now. It's kind of crazy. They have zero incentive to actually follow the science.
Yeah.
They're not going to follow the science.
They follow the dollar signs.
They follow the green. That's what they follow. Yeah.
Well, at least you don't have to deal with vaccine status at your job.
Oh, no, they still ask me. No, they ask me.
But it hasn't become a formal, fill out this form.
No, they sent me a form, but I'm like, make me fill it out.
Yeah.
I just don't answer it ever.
Yeah. I got a form this week.
Yeah.
That I'm supposed to fill out before I go back into the office or back into the field. Mm-hmm. And basically just declaring your vaccine status. And you can refuse to answer because they want to respect your privacy.
But they still want to know.
They're going to assume that you're not vaccinated if you don't answer.
Yeah.
If you choose not to answer.
Yeah. They're going to treat you as though you're not.
Yeah. And on that email, it said, we need to know in order to determine which rules apply to which people.
Yeah. So they have an apartheid system.
So I'm just...
of treatment.
Yet it's private.
Yeah.
Yet that's private.
Yeah.
But if you're not vaccinated, you still need to wear a mask.
I wonder how that doesn't violate the Equal Protection Clause of the Constitution. I wonder how...
I mean, they're a private corporation. They can do what they want.
But you can't discriminate based on race, skin color, ethnicity, creed, religion, sexual orientation.
Yeah,
but vaccine status is okay.
Medical
apartheid
personal choices
is okay.
Yeah, medical personal choices.
When are they going to start asking the women in the building how many of them have had abortions? And are they going to treat them differently because they've had abortions? I mean, no, I'm serious,
yeah.
right? Think about it.
It's such a weird situation. I'm going to hold off as long as I can, even though I'm probably going to go into the field this week and technically I should fill it out, but I just...
Nah. Fuck them.
I'm over it.
Make them.
I'm just over it. And...
make them make you fill it out.
And they tell you in that email, if you see someone not following the rules, don't confront them, go to HR.
So snitch.
Yeah. So become a rat.
Yeah.
But if you're not supposed to ask a person about their vaccine status and you just... assume that they're not vaccinated and you go to HR. What if they are vaccinated? It's just a dumb situation. It's dumb.
It encourages snitch behavior, which is not unlike prison, which is what they're trying to make everybody feel like they're in.
So we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah. I just have one piece of advice.
Just one advice?
For one advice. Just one. One advice is for the snitch who chooses to snitch.
Oh, man.
Snitches get stitches and end up in ditches.
Because they're bitches.
So I'm just letting them know right now.
Oh, man. I haven't got snitched on so far.
Yeah, everybody...
I haven't followed their stupid ass rules, and I've been good so far, but we'll see. I don't know. People are kind of on edge these days.
You work with a bunch of goodies who follow the rules.
These people are just so obsessed with following the rules.
Yeah.
It's retarded.
It's funny because even when you decided to take your little email app off your phone, and they were like, "Oh, that good for you,"
Yeah.
And it's like, well, then why don't you do it too? Oh no, I can't do that. I can't do that. I don't get it.
It's all right. They live through me because I do the things that they
wish they could do. I guess.
They look up to me for it. I don't fucking know.
Do you think it's that they're younger than you and they've because the generations prior to, how bad it was when we went to school, where you were taught very much to sit in your chair and be a fucking parrot and just to listen to the rules, follow the rules, and repeat what they say, repeat what's in the stupid books, and do all that. I bet it was worse for the people that came after us, for the kids that came after us. And from what
Yeah.
I understand, a lot of people are younger than you at work, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you think that's why?
I don't know. I think they're just goody goodies.
I mean, but it could have been because of that.
Indoctrination played a role.
Yeah.
For sure. For all of us. And some of us got out of it. But everyone that I work with like went to 4-year, you know?
Yeah.
That's a requirement. So they've been indoctrinated for high school and then college, and some have masters, so
Yeah.
a couple more years, you know? No wonder they're goody goodies, because they're just used to following the rules that whole time and regurgitating shit.
But you have your master's too, and you're like, fuck it. You don't follow their bullshit.
No.
What does that say? How is that?
I want to
so
think for
weird.
myself. Like
Yeah.
I want to think for myself, and to do that these days, especially at my job, is just, it's unheard of.
It's unheard of. Yeah.
It's hard for people to do that. It's just focus on the job at hand. You know, I got to get this done. I got to submit this in time. I got to write this email.
Yeah.
No thinking about, oh, that's weird that they're going to make people wear masks. I'm vaccinated, so it shouldn't matter.
Yeah.
Like people don't think about that. Like, you're vaccinated. What does it matter to you?
But they just put their mask on anyways.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, rules are rules. And it's like, are you even fucking thinking anymore? Turn your fucking head on. What's wrong with you?
It's crazy.
Or open the lights, you know? Open the lights, as my Filipinos friends say. Open the lights.
Well,
In your brain, open the lights.
all right, enough of this crap. Enough of this vaccine bullshit. Because it doesn't run my life.
No.
I try not to let it run my life. But
Yeah.
it's just another disappointing thing.
It seemed like they hit you pretty hard this week when all this shit. And your week wasn't even that busy.
No, but it did hit me because I know that a lot of people are going to end up following it, you know. And,
oh, yeah, of course.
And I am at risk of being told on because I can't really trust a lot of people.
I mean,
but I'm going to still do my thing, and what's going to happen is going to happen. We'll just.
I'm of the school, make them fire you, because then they have to pay your unemployment. And I'm going to be honest, while we're still in California, unemployment's a lot higher right now than it would be if we left and went to a different state. So make them fire you, make them pay your unemployment. Then you take that money and we'll go off to our adventure.
They're going to be like, oh, you're such a danger. You are putting everyone in danger. We can't pay your unemployment.
We can't pay your unemployment. Oh, man.
You're too much of a risk.
Oh, man. I'm going to go in there and take money out of their drawers. And there you go. And be like, here you go. They don't have drawers. It's not like a grocery store or anything.
No.
No. I don't even think they have petty cash. Everything's cards.
Well, positive note about, we did get some emails this week.
We did.
Yeah.
We got some emails from folks.
Gentleman in the UK named Rob.
Yeah.
Shout out. Sphere, it's his Twitter handle is at Sphere Reticle.
Yes, it's spelled like sphere and reticle, like the reticle from a scope, and then sphere.
Yeah, so SPHERE.
Yeah.
RETICAL.
Yeah.
And he sent a few emails. He sent a link for a really cool book on foraging.
Okay.
Called Food for Free. So I want to check that out. And he also sent a picture of his property.
Nice.
In the UK. I think I showed it to you.
Yeah. That's the one where his neighbor was a little ways away.
He said he put an arrow in there of his neighbor, and it's just so far away.
It's a little ways away.
Yeah. So he lives on a decent area away from people, and I guess he has frequent barn owl visitor that he sent a picture of also. So that was really cool to see. You didn't
show me that picture. I want to see that.
I didn't show it to you, but I did mention it to you.
You did.
But I kept that one for myself.
Okay. Well, you're going to have to share.
Okay.
Because I like to see barn owls too.
Yeah. But Rob, thank you so much for writing us and really liked the pictures. Appreciate it. And the
Yeah.
links and just the back and forth.
His Twitter's pretty cool too. I checked out his feed. I was like, yep, saying some pretty cool shit. So I dig it.
But yeah, write us, people.
Yeah,
It's awesome.
for sure. We'll
We wanna-
mention you on the
Yeah,
show.
we want to know what you're doing, and if you're doing something to fight the man,
Yeah.
even better.
I know.
But
Yeah, Rob, I wonder, did you make it out to any of the protests that are happening in the UK today or all over Europe apparently?
yeah, there's some crazy protests going on.
Yeah. I mean, we're recording this today. We're recording on, what's today? Saturday, right?
Yeah, should I say the date? It's the
Yeah.
24th.
Okay, we're recording on Saturday the 24th. We're going to try and post this week. But we have another episode that we're going to post it in front of this one because it's awesome and it's with a great guest. But Rob, if you made it out to one of those protests, or if you know somebody who made it out to the protests, you want to share some video or anything, we're glad to take a look. We'll share it. I guess should I mention kind of our half? Well, it's not our half. It's our news. I mean, online.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. So we have a website now, falserealitycheck.com. We were able to get it. Actually, I got it a while ago. It's just been taking me a little while to build it. It's a very simple website, and it's just kind of going to be the central hub for our posts and some blog posts. We want to kind of centralize information. So we have another guest that we're going to be talking to coming up this week, and we'll publish that episode later. But we met him on another podcast, and he's provided us a long list of really interesting documentaries and just links to different places and research for different topics, all conspiratorial, kind of, like 9/11, JFK, vaccines, all kinds of like interesting things, to kind of open up your mind and question. And I guess I can mention his name. Yeah. Ronnie. So Ronnie, he lives in Finland, came on Ricky Rants with us and Ricky Verandas, and I think he was drunk. I'm not really sure. Ricky said he was drunk, but I don't know.
He was.
And did he might have said he was drunk.
Yeah.
Okay. But it was funny, and he was funny, and he provided this really cool list. So I started to make posts on our website that feature some of the information he's put on, and links and actual videos. So you can actually go to our post and watch the videos right then and there. We have our first post is going to wake you up a little bit because it's like the best movie to wake you up to. It is John Carpenter's They Live. There's
Great movie.
There's a trailer on the post, and there's also the actual, like, somebody must have ripped a video and put it on a Vimeo link, because I found it and I put it up
it's
there.
the full movie.
The full
whole
movie.
movie
So you don't have to
for
buy
free.
it. Just watch it.
Yeah.
Just go to our website and watch it. And it features like the best fighting scene in the history of fighting scenes of any movie, because it lasts so long. The fighting scene, I don't know how long this fighting, it's got to be like 10 minutes. Maybe.
I don't think it's that long.
It seems like it lasts so
It's a pretty long scene.
It goes
they
on
just
and
keep
on.
going at it.
Yeah. But it's Roddy Piper, rest in peace. He is the main guy. I don't even think they ever name him in the movie.
Yeah, I don't think his character has a name.
He never has a name. And
Well, I think he does have a name, but they just don't say it. But I think IMDb has his name.
no, I thought in the credits he's just listed as like the guy or the traveler or something like that.
The guy.
I don't think they actually list a name for him, but
Okay.
he does have a name. They just never say it in the movie.
Yeah.
And it takes place like in LA, and it's a little like how LA is now with a bunch of homeless people, and it's so funny how none of this shit ever changed. And this movie was made in the 80s, I think.
Yeah.
And it just kind of reveals, kind of the controllers of the reality as like these aliens that come down, and they hypnotize us with their messaging and all kinds of shit. It's really like you know, it's crazy. I think it was either Rowdy Roddy Piper or it was John Carpenter that said that this movie is a documentary. That's what they said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny. I mean, don't want to spoil too much of it, but it's just like everyone's under some spell.
Yeah.
They're casting out this frequency or wavelength, whatever, that's putting people under a spell to consume and just live their everyday lives. Like we're doing today. Just consume, you know,
Consume and obey.
Don't question anything.
Yeah. Consume and obey. That's pretty much it. That's the message.
Yeah. And he comes across this church that's,
they're like working on the underground.
Yeah, they have
trying
like
to break the signal that they're like brainwashing the society with or whatever.
And they also have these sunglasses that if you put on,
you can see the truth.
It shows you the truth on what things really would look like.
Yeah,
it's funny.
And I'm sure like people have seen posters with how the aliens look, where they're all like
it was like yellow, weird.
Yeah, like blue,
glassy
red,
eyes.
and they have like their eyes are sticking out of their skull, kind of. It's really weird.
I like when they put their arm up and they talk to their wristwatch.
Yeah.
Just like
they
reporting, like if you do something wrong, they immediately lift up their arm and talk into their wristwatch.
They're like white male, glasses,
blonde hair,
in the bank. He can see me. And then they like press a button and disappear into some portal or some shit. It's a great movie. It's one of those movies that if you get high and you watch, you're probably gonna really enjoy it. I'm sure.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you're not high, you probably enjoy it too.
Yes.
But
John Carpenter,
great director, way ahead of his time. And he did Halloween, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Whoa.
Just making sure. I'm just making sure I didn't mix him up with another like Wes Craven. You know, I always mix them up.
No, that's not even the same ballpark.
No. But Wes Craven did horror. Wes Craven's horror films really aren't that horrifying.
No.
Like Scream is more like a comedy.
Yeah.
Than it is a horror. But I thought Wes Craven did Last House on the Left, or that was probably somebody else. That was probably somebody else. Look at me. I went to film school and I don't know shit.
These movies don't matter anyways.
I know. I'm just.
But they are entertaining.
Yeah, I probably should have remembered this shit.
No, it's fine. Your mind's filled with drugs.
You don't need to. You don't need to. Oh my god. Yeah, I don't know. This week was kind of hard, to be honest with you.
We did watch a lot of educational videos.
Yeah. Adam recommended that documentary that we started this week, and then some Rogue Ways. Getting educated. I think she was sick this week though.
Oh yeah, she couldn't do a live stream.
Yeah.
On Thursday.
Yeah.
It was still good, the stream she posted.
For sure. I watched it as though it was a live stream because I thought it was. I thought it was a live stream. I was like, oh, wow, this is really nice. This is a very nice, calm, relaxing episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. I never watched her Thursday. What is it? Middle Path?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So the Middle Path, for those who don't know, is Lindsay Sharman's show on Rockfin on Thursdays. She does Rogue Ways also. But middle path also refers to, in like Buddhism, there's a middle path. You know, you don't want to strain too far to the left or the right. You don't want to. A good analogy would be like a string on a guitar. If you over tighten it can snap. If you loosen it too much, it doesn't play right. So you kind of want to live your life that way. That's the kind of gist of that middle path.
The middle path.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that. And then Joe Salatin.
Yes.
He's been flooding our screen.
Joel Salatin videos all week long, learning how to process chickens.
We watched like an hour and a half long video that he did at a conference.
Yeah.
2019, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just processing chickens.
Yeah.
While taking Q&A, like doing a Q&A, like it was crazy.
He processed like 30 something chickens, I think.
Yeah, like nothing.
While he was talking to people, and he was describing everything he needed, everything to recommend what people need to do and all kinds of stuff. And it's just so, you know, so can I highlight the process without getting too graphic for people? You basically, you take your chicken and there's these steel cones that you know, gently put the chicken upside down in these cones, and the cone acts kind of like a hook for the chicken.
But you also need to thank the chicken
Yeah,
and appreciate
you
the
should
chicken for
really,
what you're about to do,
exactly,
you know?
because it's going to sacrifice its life so that it can feed you. And you know, he did mention that we do this with reverence and all the care and love that we would for any of our animals. And it's not too bad of a lot of people that are listening, like the vegetarians that are listening right now, are probably hating on this, but people eat meat. It's, you know, it's and Joel Salatin, the way these chickens are raised on pastures, you know, they're free to eat the bugs and all the critters on the grass that they normally would eat. They're not put in cages. They're not stuffed
They're
one
not
on top of the other, pooping on top of each
they're
other.
not vaccinated.
They're not vaccinated. They're not taking any drugs. They're pasture raised chickens. And they really do care for these chickens a lot. And so you put the chicken in the cone and it's upside down, it's hanging. You have to, depending on the size of the chicken, you may have to pull the head out of the bottom of the cone that's open a little bit. And you want, you know, gently, you're not hurting the chicken. You're not trying to hurt the chicken. But when you pull the chicken out, you can reveal their jugular a little bit. And you want to take a very, very, very sharp, clean knife. And you want to just gently cut the jugular and let the chicken bleed. The chicken will bleed out almost instantly. It's a very quick, they go almost instantly. And you do see movement, but those movements are involuntarily their muscles are involuntarily contracting.
It's really crazy to watch because they're dead.
They're dead. They're
but
gone.
they're moving and spazzing inside the cone, and
it's only a few times. Maybe.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because he brought up the point with industrialized meat. You're basically forced to take it. Well, you don't take it yourself, but you have to have it sent to be processed at a USDA facility,
yeah.
accredited, whatever the hell, you know,
inspected. And
those animals do not get the same treatment.
No,
they have to get electrocuted, right?
Yep, they will electrocute
because that's
the chicken.
According to USDA rules, that's considered humane.
Yeah,
that's a humane way of killing them.
Yeah,
instead of the person who raised them
gently taking
care of them, letting them know, hey, thank you for what you've done and what you're about to become.
Yeah,
become deliciousness in my body.
What you're about to serve
the
is a greater
nourishment
purpose
that you're going to provide to me, you know, and just gently taking them out and letting them bleed out naturally. It's better for the meat. He said there is a difference.
It drains the body of the blood.
But when you shock it, it causes clotting, right?
Around the bones. And so sometimes when you're in the grocery store and you see like blackness around bones of your chicken, that's blood clots.
And that's just, it's not good.
No. That's also what makes your chicken taste like shit.
Yeah, the nutritional value decreases and
they're already lacking nutritional value.
Yeah.
Because it usually comes from concentrated feed facilities when you get chicken like that.
So that's the difference between doing it the way Joel Salatin's doing it versus industrial where you just shock it.
Yeah, I don't know if it's so much as the way that just Joel Salatin does it, because I don't think he's the person who invented that method.
No, but just the natural...
That's the natural way of raising and butchering your own chicken.
Yeah.
And back in the day, I know when my grandpa was farming and they had chickens and there was going to be a chicken that they ate, usually it would be like a laying hen that stopped laying, basically.
Yeah.
Because most of the chickens, if they raised chickens for meat, they wanted to sell them. But they would just straight up take the chicken out. There was like a stump in I know we didn't see it when we went up there, but it used to be in front of their house. and it was just a stump, like an old stump from a tree that my grandpa cut, and they would just put the chicken there and just with a butcher's blade just cut the head off.
Yeah, and you're not supposed to do that either.
You're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to do that. But that's back in the day. Things had advanced a little bit more. And
yeah, the draining of the blood provides the highest quality.
It really does.
Meat.
It really does.
I guess.
It kind of washes the body clean. And obviously you have to get rid of the feathers. So there's a scalding process that takes place. You scald the bird for like 30 seconds.
Yeah, it's just a machine that has what was it?
They're like
this like metal cage.
They're like fry baskets.
Yeah, there you go.
That are open on the front and back that you can like slide a couple birds in, and they rotate on a gear axis where there's about 3 of those baskets, and they rotate into a hot scalding bath, and it has to be a certain temperature. But that helps get rid of the feathers.
Some of the feathers, yeah. And it cleans out the bird, and then they put it in that other machine that completely removes.
Yeah.
It's like a washing machine with rubber.
It's called a whiz bang. They do it. They have these so it's like a upturned washing machine, not like a front loader, but like a top loader washing machine, but it's not in a box. So it's literally just like the unit inside the washing machine that turns. And there's nothing in the center. And there's these rubber like screw prongs that are poked in to the whole barrel, and the bottom of this washing machine rotates, and basically you throw the bird in after scalding, and these rubber nubbins kind of grab onto the feathers and pull them. So you can throw like 3 birds into these whiz bang machines.
Yeah, it just beats the birds around.
But it doesn't really bruise them.
No, it just helps remove the feathers pretty quickly.
Yeah, and it pretty much gets rid of everything but like the really tough pin feathers for the most part.
Yeah.
And you're able to just pull the bird out and wash it off and clean it and make sure it's good. And you can start the process of doing the rest of the butchering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it dressing? Is that the term?
It's dressing technically, because that's what you would do with an animal in the field. When you hunt, you would dress it.
Okay.
And so technically it's dressing, but I like to say butchering because to me, all my memories of animals being butchered is in a butcher shop or in like an area, not a butcher shop, but like a grocery store where there is a butcher actually cutting stuff in the back.
Yeah.
And
carniceria.
Carniceria. Yeah, like carnicerias. And so there's usually always some dude there. So to me, when it's like an animal that you're going to consume that is purchased, it's butchering. But when you're in the field, it's dressing. But he uses the terms interchangeably, I've noticed.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was really curious this week. And besides watching those videos, I was wondering if people actually will raise their own cows to butcher their own cows. And I did actually come across, there are a couple videos on YouTube, believe it or not, that you can find of people that have raised their own cow, and it's time they want to harvest their cow. One video was a couple in, I think it was New Zealand or Australia. So I don't know, their accents kind of sound the same. No offense to any of our fans in New Zealand and Australia, but I think it was New Zealand. I'm not too sure.
And we just lost those fans.
And we just lost all 2 of them. But they had like some guy come out, and the guy had like a fifth wheel, and he basically drove his fifth wheel out, and he like the same way that you would like hunt an animal in the field, where if it was like on your property, you would probably use your fence as like a stable post for your rifle to try and line up your shot. Well, this is how he takes the cow.
Oh my God.
He takes the cow from the fence line and basically just gets the cow right in the head, because you don't want to ruin any of the meat. And the quickest way to eliminate an animal is to shoot it in the head.
Wow. So what's the distance he does it from?
Oh, it was like less than 10 yards. It was very close.
What's the round?
I don't know. I have no idea, but it was
Jesus.
definitely a rifle. Yeah,
It's like he opened up his window, his bedroom window,
he just
and
shoots
he's
out
like,
his
"I'm
window.
hungry.
Let me get
Some
let me get some steak.
steak for breakfast. Take out one of my cows.
Jesus Christ.
Good Lord.
Well, this obviously it's like some service that comes out, and this is his service that he provides.
Okay.
He takes out your cow, he butchers your cow, and he and the cow goes down. Their legs get stiff. They fall over automatically. They're gone. They're gone. The only thing that moves is the involuntary muscle contractions. But cows are so big that you don't really see the muscle contractions moving of the whole muscle until you start to skin the animal,
Oh wow.
and you see that like the shoulder blade or the haunch area in the front starts to contract, but it's just almost like dancing. It's not really it's
weird.
it's not like a big seizure. It's just like a dancing muscle, kind of like a spasm. You know, when I
Yeah,
get a spasm
yeah.
in my leg,
Yeah.
it's just like that.
Oh, that's weird.
And but the person, yeah, he just straight up, like, he has this tool that he can upturn the cow and lay it on its back while he's skinning. He does the whole thing.
So he's able to do this on other people's property?
Yeah, I guess so.
How is that?
Well, this is a different country. This isn't our country.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What country is it again?
I think it's New Zealand. I don't
That's
think
right,
it's
that's
I don't
right.
think it's Australia. I'm pretty sure it's New Zealand.
Oh, wow.
It was really green in the background. I'm just assuming. Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah. But I did watch another video of people in America doing it, and you know, they didn't show the actual kill. In this video they did show the actual kill. In the American video you hear the gunshot, but the screen is black, so you don't see anything, but you get the setup and you get the after. It was very reverent. It was probably the most kind way to do it, and the most gentle way. They were very gentle with their cow. I noticed that the guy in New Zealand, I'm assuming, is he was like a professional. He was just trying to go for speed. And the people in America, in their video, they had like two other families over, and everybody was working on butchering some piece, and no piece was wasted. Everything was used. The lungs, the heart, the kidneys, the liver. The only thing that I think that they didn't use was, you know, the ruminant, all the stomachs.
Oh yeah.
And the bowels. The crazy thing is they did carry the ruminant out in a wheelbarrow, and they opened it up because they wanted to see.
Yeah, that's always fun.
And oh man, it's so crazy to see in the 4 different chambers the processing of the grass and how it works.
Yeah.
And just that, like, they seem so thankful to that cow. It was a cow that they got at auction, you know, and they raised it, and it looked very healthy. And they, you know, like, they had to have a backhoe because the cows are big. They need to lift the cow up all the way to completely skin the cow.
They're thousands of pounds.
They're thousands of pounds. Well, I don't know if they're thousands of pounds. They're hundreds of pounds. They're not an elk. The elks are like 1,000 pounds.
I don't know. I get them GMO antibiotic steers these days.
I know. They're gonna like pump themselves full of HGH like Lance Armstrong and shit. They're gonna like Tour de France this butchering.
Ew.
But they were very gentle. It was very kind. The kids were involved and everything. And, you know, the wife in the video, one of the wives in the video, had to address, like, you know, we're gonna get comments of how could you expose your kids to this, and she just explains, like, we don't make our kids be a part of this. They want to, and they want to know where their food came from. And they talked to one of their like little daughters, and she mentions how it's sad, like it's sad because she's gonna miss her cow, but she's happy because she's like, who else would have taken care of it as well as we have?
That's true.
Yeah,
having that ability to be able to take care and process the meat on your own property is something that
most people
of people can't do because of regulation in this country.
Yeah,
it makes no sense.
I think the only exception is if you're processing the animal for yourself, if it's something you raised. But even then, there's some very strict areas in this country where I don't even think you're allowed to do that. And it's a shame.
Well, let's not go there.
Oh no. Yeah, I really hope that Idaho's not that way. And
Yeah, we
I don't
need to look
think it
into
is.
those regulations.
I don't think it is. But there's a way around it, and we kind of talked about it a little bit, that there's kind of a way to circumvent, I guess, the system in a way that it would allow you to do these sorts of things without going through USDA approval.
So I'm reading Everything I Want to Do is Illegal
Yeah.
by Joe Salatin. It's Salatin, right?
Yeah, Joel Salatin.
Just wanted to make sure I was pronouncing his last name right.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And he briefly touches on like just the process of having to send your meat to a USDA facility. So you can grow your product, but in order to sell it, you need to have it processed at a accredited facility, right?
And this is for like all meats, I guess.
I guess so.
Oh wow.
He's specifically talking about beef.
Okay.
Is what he's talking about.
Okay.
So you basically send your animal from your farm to this facility on your dime. You know, government's not going to pay for that.
Yeah.
So this poor animal already has to travel.
It could be like hundreds of miles, right?
Who knows how far.
Yeah.
So that's decreasing the quality.
Oh wow.
Then they get sent to slaughter with other animals that they're not familiar with, you know, they weren't raised with.
Yeah.
Get electrocuted. So you get the blood clotting,
Jesus.
you know. They get handled by people that are just on the line, just doing their job, not the people that raise them. And then when it comes time to pick up the product, it's considered a manufactured product. Like it's considered...
Because it's been processed.
It's added... Yeah, they added value to it, basically. You bring it to this facility and you get value added to it, and it's considered a manufactured product. Which, if you want to try and sell that back at your farm, you can't.
Like in your farm store.
His zoning, he can't do that because that'll put him at the Walmart status.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So you basically, you're trying to follow regulation. You take your meat to get processed, and then you want to try and sell it, but you can't because another regulation says,
Yeah.
no, you're Walmart status now because your meat is now considered a manufactured product. So yeah,
That seems stupid.
the regulations surrounding our meat and what our farmers have to go through. And it's affecting the small farmers. It's not affecting the
giant commercial
big
feed
operations because they can buy their way out of these.
Yeah.
They can lobby their way out of
Getting exemptions. Yeah.
a fine or some kind of exemption.
Yeah.
This is affecting the poor small farmers that just want to feed people and they can't because they're Walmart status because of zoning.
Wow.
But like you said, there's ways around that, right?
There's ways around it. And Joel Salatin mentioned it. It's a really cool lady named Neethi Bali who has started a food church in North Carolina. She wrote a book, I believe it was called Farm to Fork Meat Riot.
Yes.
And in her book, she describes her coming to what she discovers is what's wrong with our food.
Yeah,
And
her poor girl. Was it a girl?
It was her little girl.
Baby got cancer. It was just a baby.
And they basically overdosed her with chemotherapy. They put her poor little girl through 5 cycles of chemotherapy. That's radiation. That's heavy shit. And she just wasn't getting better. And to the point where, you know, a mom's going to do what a mom's going to do to try and save their child. And she just decided to go the homeopathic route and try and change diet. And so the way she went about it was to try and get the freshest food from the source that she could. So she went farm to farm, and she discovered that when she fed her baby good, wholesome meat from fresh local farms that were raising their meat outdoors the way it's supposed to be raised on grass, fed by the sun, that her baby got better. And effectively, the cancer kind of retreated. I think
and that was just from changing the diet.
that was just from changing the diet. I think eventually the radiation kind of didn't work out for her daughter, and they ended up losing her daughter. But the doctors didn't want to acknowledge any of the good that came out of anything. And this was it became her mission to keep her family healthy with good food that you're supposed to have. And her rule is you're supposed to eat something, that's healthier than you, because that health transfers to you. So if you're eating something that's even healthier than you, then you're going to become even more healthy.
Yeah, and that's something this medical system that we're in right now doesn't want. If we become healthy, we start eating good food and we become healthy, then we don't need them, right?
Exactly.
We lose that dependency.
Exactly.
On the medications and having to go to the doctor to get a physical and all this crap
Yeah.
that we probably don't even need.
No.
When it starts with our food.
Yeah. It starts, and that's something that even the ancient Greeks, Hippocrates, I think, said that your medicine starts with food and what you put in your mouth. And so people oftentimes, they will not acknowledge the power of what you eat and how it serves you in your body. But that's probably the most important thing. I mean, you eat every day. Most people eat every day, even if it's just once a day. Most people eat every day. And if you think about it, your food is your medication. You should be eating the best that you can get. The problem is we've been convinced that cheap food is just as good, and it isn't. That's definitely not the case. You're
cheap and convenient.
Yeah, cheap and convenient doesn't help you. Food used to cost, back in the day, food used to cost about 18% of your gross income. 18% of your net income. And now it takes about 9% of your net income. You know what takes 18% of your income?
Medical.
Isn't it funny how
problems?
they've reversed? Medical was 9%.
Oh, wow.
They've reversed. So now think about it. If you spend a little bit more on your food, not only do you get better food, but you get to spend less on your medical because you probably don't need it as much. And granted, I'm not a doctor. This is not medical advice, but I know that if you eat good food, you're probably going to be healthier than if you ate shit. And that's what Neethi is trying to preach with her food church. And with her food church, there are farms that are part of it. There are individuals and families that are part of it. If you join her church, you can get all the great kinds of illegal foods that are wonderful for you, that our loving government doesn't want us to have because they love us so much that they hate us. And she connects with these local farms. I think she also has a CSA. A CSA, for folks that don't understand what that is, we get our food through we get a lot of our food through a CSA.
Community supported agriculture.
Exactly. It's where you get a box of food from your local farm every week or every other week or however much you plan it. And it's got fruits, vegetables, or whatever's in season, but it's grown right near you.
Now I'm even questioning if the CSA that we have is actually, it's fresher than what we get at the store.
It is.
But in order to be a CSA and to do certain things, you have to follow certain protocols.
Yeah. Regulations.
To get that, organic
yeah.
label.
Yeah.
And from listening to some podcasts this week, finding out about eggs in the farmer's market and how they're still washed.
Yeah, they're
Like
washed.
they
They're
still
washed in a
wash them
chlorine
in a
solution.
chlorine solution. And you think that you're getting just like eggs right out of the chicken.
No.
Just right from the chicken to the carton. No, I guess not. They have to wash them in order to sell them to the public.
Yeah.
At a farmer's market. Like, what the...
The only time we were able to get fresh eggs right out of the chicken was when we went and stayed up at that ranch in San Luis Obispo, I think. We stayed at a ranch, and the host, a great person, you know, took us through her garden first thing in the morning. We got to pick fresh vegetables and tomatoes and all kinds of stuff to take. She gave us a watermelon that was really good.
Yeah, it was
and
delicious.
I hate watermelons. I can't stand watermelon, but that watermelon was delicious. And then we went to her chicken coops and we got to pick up, you know, a dozen eggs, fresh from the chickens. And
man, those were good.
Those eggs, the yolk was just bright orange. It's perfect. It tastes the best. It makes you wonder what the hell you're eating when you get eggs from the grocery store.
Yeah.
And they clearly were unwashed because they had feathers all over them.
Yes.
And they were delicious.
Yeah, the farmer's market eggs they're still better than the store, but I was a little disappointed that they're washed.
Yeah, but every once in a while you get feathers and stuff on those eggs.
Yeah, the ones we get in the CSA box. I don't think they wash those.
I don't think they wash them either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Well, I don't see their little regulation sticker on those eggs either.
True.
So, cool. Don't wash your eggs. I really don't want them to. So, if you don't wash your eggs, you didn't even mention the best part about not washing your eggs.
Oh, please.
The best part is you don't have to refrigerate them.
Yeah.
If you don't wash your eggs, you can keep them out in the kitchen.
Yeah, I guess when they come out of the chicken, there's some coating on them that helps preserve them.
Yeah.
And you don't have to throw them in the fridge. You can just keep them on the counter.
Yeah. Yeah. So you can just leave them out. And that's something I noticed when we went to Mexico. In the Walmart over there, none of the eggs are refrigerated. They're all just sitting out like in pallets.
They probably still wash them and sit them out though.
You think so? Because those are like the white eggs, like the industrial eggs, huh?
Yeah, I have no idea. I
don't think that they come from like local Mexican farms. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They probably ship them in from the United States. It's quite a thing. I still do think that we get a little bit better quality if we get CSA vegetables and stuff.
Yeah.
And eggs than if we go to the grocery store and we get their shit.
Yeah.
So that's just my thinking.
Fun fact on eggs from the grocery store.
Yeah.
If you want to see the day that they're packaged, there's a little number right where the expiration date is. It's either going to be like 3 digits or just 1. It depends. So if you see a 365, then that means pretty much that number tells you what day it was packaged in the year. What day of the year? What day of the year was packaged. So if it's 365, then that means December 31st.
Yeah.
It was packaged. If it's 1, January 1st, it was packaged. So farmers have like 30 days from when that egg hit that carton to get it to the store, right? And then the stores have like 30 days or something
to sell it before they probably have to like return it or get rid of it.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly what it is, but there's like a 2-month time frame before it actually hits the store shelf.
So you're getting, not only are you getting a washed product where it's not safe to leave outside, you have to refrigerate it, but you're getting an old product.
Yeah, it might be 2 months old.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll have to maybe put something on our website, just a little post to show you what exactly I'm talking about. But it's just a number right by the expiration date on the carton that'll tell you when it's packaged, what day of the year it's packaged.
It seems pretty... So what if it's like 369? Was the guy drunk and he just forgot how many days was in a year? Is that it?
Sure. I don't know what to say. is no 369, damn it.
I know. That's why I'm like, was he drunk? He's like, how many
369.
days are in a year? I don't know.
Damn she fine.
I was wondering if you were gonna do that. Oh my god. Yeah, old eggs. But anyways, Neethi Bali, food church. Back to her really quick. So, circumvention. We're not about, you don't have to break the law, but you can circumvent the law. So Neethi Bali established the food church, and members of food church are able to get all the great kinds of wonderful illegal meats and
Unpasteurized milk.
unpasteurized raw milk. And I don't know if there's cheese, but I'm hoping she does, because
Yeah, she works with local farmers
farmers.
that want to sell their wares. Well, yeah.
Well, not their wares, but
So she doesn't sell.
There's no selling.
You have to become a member.
You have to be a part of her church.
And as a member, you can give tithing.
Yes.
Right? And through that tithing, you in return get meat.
Yeah.
Or milk.
Yeah.
Or eggs.
That's your sacrament.
She is what's the term? Not leader of the church.
She is a
minister?
high priestess of the pasture.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you're a minister of the church, you don't have to, you're not considered an employee.
No.
Right?
Yeah, yes and no. It depends on how you file.
Okay.
Yeah. But there's a way that you can file where you don't actually have to withhold income tax anymore.
So that's the loophole to not be considered an employee.
And any property that the church owns, there's no more property tax because you're a 501c3 recognized legal church.
Yep.
In the United States. And I know a lot of people might be listening to that and going, that's a fucking loophole. You shouldn't be doing shit like that. Pay your fucking taxes. Taxes are a crime. First of all,
they're theft.
Taxes are theft, because how can someone steal your labor from you? That represents your labor. They take it from you. That doesn't make any sense. That's a thievery. Just because it's a government doing it doesn't make it moral or right. It's the same as if a criminal takes money from your pocket. The tax exempt thing is the thing that I find super fascinating. The biggest thing, though, that's not even the biggest thing. The biggest thing is the USDA has zero jurisdiction in her church, meaning she can give to her parishioners whatever types of meats and products and foods that they need and they consume, and they can safely do so because it's their church, and we're protected in the United States for freedom of religion.
Yeah, inspectors have come in and tried to shut her down.
Yeah.
And they're like, you're selling this stuff. And she's like, no. These are my members. Mm-hmm. I'm the minister. The
minister of this church.
That's like the term, or I know she goes by something else.
Yeah.
Get out.
Yeah. She's been audited.
Here's our ledger.
Yeah.
She keeps track of every single transaction.
Yeah. And everyone at the end of the year gets a record of their tithing to the church, and they can use it to write off on their taxes because it's a church.
So basically she became an LLC.
A nonprofit LLC. Yes.
And through that became a church, right? So she doesn't have to pay taxes.
Nope.
That's like the biggest thing. You're avoiding taxes. And
well, I think to me it's the USDA thing and the FDA thing.
Yeah, and she put that the LLC into a trust.
I'm not sure if she put the LLC into a trust or if property owned by the LLC is in a trust.
Yeah, that might be it. That might be it.
I'd want to talk to her about that one of these days. Maybe we can get her on. That'd be
nice.
But
doing that, and you don't have to pay property tax.
No, because if a property is owned by a nonprofit church, you don't pay taxes if you're a church. So property tax is considered a tax. Therefore, you don't have to pay property tax. So, and the only time that an organization like a church would pay a tax is employment tax if they started getting employees. The interesting thing about churches in America, though, is most of the time when you work for a church, you're volunteering because it's a church. It's a
Yeah.
charitable organization. So you get like volunteer hours for, you can claim credit at your job because a lot of jobs like it when their employees do volunteer hours for different organizations. You can do that and not be an employee. And I'm sure if you're a volunteer at the food church, you get some pretty bomb food when you're done. So I think that, like, in terms of agorism, this is like next level high, chess that she's playing with
3D chess,
with the
4D chess.
This is like 7D chess. And she's playing it with the federal government, and I'm jealous about how big her balls are to do this because now I want to do it.
I think it's awesome that she just wants to feed people good food.
Yeah. And she
But
cares about her family. And
what
she
is
wants them to eat good
What
food.
is so dangerous about wanting to show people where their food comes from
Exactly.
and provide them nutritious food?
Yeah.
There's nothing dangerous about that.
No.
And these freaking inspectors, USDA, come in and treat it like it's the end of the world.
Yeah.
Like, no, we're the
keeping
parents.
people safe.
We're the parents. We got to keep you safe.
Yeah.
You can't process your animal out in open air.
Yeah. How dare you?
On your property. You can't do that.
Do you remember the open air germ or test that they did that you were telling me about in
Yeah, in the book.
Yeah, in Joel Salatin's book.
Yeah, he processes his chickens pretty much in open air environment.
Yeah, there's a roof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And USDA or whatever inspector came by and, of course, tried to shut him down.
Mm-hmm.
And they did a test, like a swab test for bacteria on his chicken meat versus meat that's in a processing facility, industrialized processing facility. And, like, the processed meat came back. I don't know. I can't remember the exact number, but it was like 3,000
colony forming bacteria.
It was like 3,006 or something.
Yeah.
Whatever. And
some
then
insane number.
Joel Salatin's chicken came back and it was like 100 and something.
Yeah. It was like
way lower.
Less
contaminated.
Way less. It was almost minuscule.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what does that tell you?
It tells you that outside's not scary, and
No.
you can eat and cook outside, and you can process your animal outside, and it's just fine. Actually, you probably should process your animal outside.
Yep.
Yeah. That's probably the cleanest place to do it. There's not going to be any waste. Imagine this. So I know you noticed that when we watched the chicken processing, there's a lot of blood. There's a lot of feathers.
Mm-hmm.
But what does he do with that? He puts it in the compost pile.
Yeah.
What do you think gives the soil the most nutrition ever? I mean, that's why blood meal is a thing that you feed plants. It's just part of restoring balance back to the dirt and the soil. You have to do that. I mean, he raises his chickens on pasture and he moves them every single day. So every single day, chickens have a new space to roam around on the pasture, and they feed on the grass. They take out, bugs, ants, they eat pieces of grass, and the whole time they're pooping. And when they're pooping, they're feeding that dirt right beneath their feet, and the chickens move, and that patch of grass is now fertilized. It's a brilliant system. It's a very balanced system.
Yeah.
And it's probably the way we should have been farming this whole time.
Definitely.
If everybody gets on board with this method of farming, it's really, truly a decentralized kind of method. And I know people think that there's supply chain issues now. I know that the brilliant economist AOC had to comment this week about how this is not inflation. It's supply chain issues, even though the stock market's through the fucking roof. How did that work out? Supply chain issues, but the stock market's through the roof. And she has an economy degree, or degree in economy or economics, macroeconomics, or some shit like that.
Degree in
Did she
economy.
get it out of a fucking Cracker Jack box? Did she never read a book about economics in her life? But I've never heard such stupidity in one place come out of one person's mouth. She's the new Nancy Pelosi. She's got the crazy eyes and everything. It works out perfectly. Templates. It's all templates. But she was talking about all this nonsense about there's no inflation. It's supply chain issues. No, we don't really have supply chain issues. It's inflation, and it's going to get even worse. And it's going to create supply chain issues because gas is through the roof. How do you transport goods? Gas. You need trucks. So if the cost goes up, then the cost is going to go up on the goods because the cost for transportation is going to go up. It's a terrible cycle. It keeps going. What's easier? Have a bunch of farms in 2 states away that you don't even see, and they grow stuff. They take it all to all these central facilities where they pack it and package it, and they ship it all over the country, wasting more gas. Or should we redesign cities and think of cities not so much as stacking on top of each other and start to grow in cities? Have little farms here and there. Little neighborhoods could have, you could have enough chickens in a whole neighborhood so that everybody has eggs. Nobody could be hungry.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really not that hard to figure this shit out.
Yeah, if we were able to sell to one another as
or
neighbors
barter.
and barter, it would be a totally different world. But now people are even more afraid of each other. We're even more afraid to do business with each other. So they've kind of worsened the situation in city areas anyway. Rural environments, people don't give a shit. They're still working together, and
people are working together there.
But just out here, it's kind of the fear has taken over.
Yeah, it's too much of a rule following kind of nature in a city, I think, and there is a lack of independent spirit.
Yeah.
Here.
But it was really refreshing to see that video on that food church.
It was.
Because I don't know, I feel farming seems like it's very hard, it's not going to be an easy thing.
Mm-hmm.
But if we can educate ourselves on it, and once you get the hang of it,
why not?
We've seen so many videos of just people, regular city folk, don't have no idea how to farm.
And they go out and buy a farm.
They decide, let's quit our jobs. Let's go buy a farm. Let's start farming.
Yeah.
Let's start farming chickens. And man, they figure it out.
Yeah.
And they're raising a family. Mm-hmm. Families, they end up scaling up a little bit each year, and they're selling to their neighbors. And I mean, that's the way to go.
Yeah.
I want to be able to do that. I want to be able to feed the community around me good food.
Yeah.
Because people deserve better. They don't deserve this crap that's in the supermarket.
Exactly.
That's just no nutritional value whatsoever. There's nothing wrong with getting food directly from your local farmer.
No. You should be getting food from your local farmer.
That's
what farmers do.
Regulations are just a fucking jobs program.
Yeah.
There's like 10,000 inspectors.
It really is.
For who knows how many facilities there are in the United States, and there's like 10,000 inspectors. Mm-hmm. Do you know how much they're missing? It's like the fucking TSA. It's this security blanket.
I know.
That people think, oh, they're going to save me. Oh, they're going to find that bug.
No.
In my food.
No.
They're going to stop that bacteria. No. No, come on.
Why else would they, in their regulations, specify how much rat hair and rat feces can be present in a certain amount of square inches of
what's the
ground
allowable
beef?
amount that passes that someone won't get sick?
Exactly.
Yeah, we're eating this stuff, people. Mm-hmm. No matter, you can't escape it.
No.
It's no matter what we put in our mouth, there's going to be a spider leg, It's like
there's going to be something going on that you're not going to like.
But that's fine. Yeah. That's fine. That stuff.
It's protein.
It helps build our immune systems. We can't be so fearful of bacteria.
Yeah.
And it's some of that stuff, we need it.
Joel Salatin drinking from the trough of the cows on his pasture. He just goes up right to the trough and takes a big gulp of water right out of the
Yeah,
trough.
he's like, all right, time to help my microbiome.
And he just drinks right out.
I probably do that. Why
I
not?
mean, yeah, cows are probably pretty clean for the
Yeah.
most part. They're always just chewing grass, not
But
much.
yeah, and so I think for us, I'd love to raise chickens.
I would
I'd love to
love
start,
to raise chickens and rabbits for sure.
and I'm heavily. I bought how many books?
We bought like
I
three
bought
Joel
like three
Salatin books.
because I'm on this little thing where I want to learn to farm,
Yeah.
and I want to be able to not only feed us, but also feed community.
Yeah.
Start a community, and maybe start a food church, so we can circumvent around these bullshit government regulations
Yeah.
that don't allow us to feed our communities, that make it harder.
It'll be a little bit of an uphill battle, you know. There's Mormons there. Mormons don't like to join other churches.
We found a way to stick it to these motherfuckers. It might seem like nothing compared to what's going on in this crazy world right now, but
Yeah.
you know what? It starts with community.
No, it does.
Change starts with community.
Well, change I think starts with you.
Well,
And then from that
yes,
outward.
you're right.
Yeah.
It starts with the individual,
Yeah.
and then that individual can help change the community.
Yeah. Well, help your family, and then the families are what form communities.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it would be nice to feed people. I do like feeding people and farming. You know, my grandpa was a farmer, so why not? I mean, why shouldn't I go back to it? Maybe my life would have been different if my dad took over the farm, you know, and I was raised up north. I probably would have never met you. So I think everything kind of happened for a reason, and we got together, and now it's now we can do it together and go back and do something that humans used to do, which is grow their own food and feed each other and trade. And I find that the right way to go. Anything that kind of takes you back to your wild human roots of growing your own food and feeding your own family and your own neighbors, I think is a good thing. I would really like to be very specific in that, since we are in a predominantly Mormon area, and I'm not saying everyone is up there is Mormon, because that's not at all the case, but the main church of the area is a Mormon church. I think there's a Catholic church up there somewhere too, but respectfully, nothing wrong with your faiths, nothing wrong with those religions. This is not a church to compete with your church. This church is about your church is about feeding the soul. Our church is about feeding your body. And it will not conflict with your religion at all whatsoever. I guarantee it. And I don't want to. That is not my goal. My goal is purely to feed your body, because healthy bodies, I think, have healthy minds, and healthy minds can develop a healthy spiritual life. And
Definitely.
that can feed into their own religion if they want to keep going to their own church. That's cool too. And I just want to help everybody there. And I don't know if you remember some of the things my dad and my mom were talking to us about, but there's some instances of cancer happening for some young people that our family knows.
Probably that mosquito spraying.
I don't know. It could be that crazy mosquito spraying. I'm not sure. But I mean, how can cancer happen in an area like that where you're in God's country up there? It is green. The air is clear. You smell pine in the mountain not too far away. That's how clean it is. The water is clean. I mean, it's beautiful. How is there cancer there? It's the food, people. It's what we put in our mouths.
Yeah.
If you don't eat the right things, if you don't eat the most nutritious things that you can, you know, what are you doing? You're gonna set yourself up to fail. One of the things I learned when I was going to school about pharmacy. The field of pharmacy is cancer is something that requires two boxes basically to be checked. Either you have a genetic propensity for some form of cancer, and there's an environmental or toxic factor. If you check two boxes, you're more likely, the question of you getting cancer is about when are you going to get cancer, not if you're going to get cancer. Now, let's say you have a propensity, like a genetic propensity to get cancer, but you'd put yourself in the best possible environment and you eat yourself the best possible food, then the question becomes, will you get cancer? Not when. So I don't know how true that is. I don't know if my professors were smarter than me, but I believe it. It sounds like it makes sense.
Seems legit.
It seems legit. So, and from people that I've known over the years, and people in my my family who have passed from cancer, to me, yeah, genetics play a part, but I think diet is the biggest part. And I think I'm starting to question a whole bunch of other things. Like I'm questioning viral theory versus germ theory versus terrain theory. I'm really thinking terrain theory is what it is, and I think terrain theory is, if you put yourself in the right environment, you give yourself the right basic building blocks, you're going to be successful.
Yeah.
But that is not what germ theory is. Germ theory is don't expose yourself to pathogens. You're going to get sick, as though we're not supposed to get sick and get over it.
That's been just a recent thing in our lifetime. I feel like this whole push that germs are scary.
Yeah.
Bacteria is scary.
Like the Purell, like Purell everywhere kind of a thing. Yeah.
That's just something that's really excelled in our lifetime.
Yeah.
Just to make our immune systems weaker.
I think so. They want us to be a lot weaker, and I think that we are. We are a lot weaker because, I mean, think about it. Like, we're bombarded with bullshit propaganda constantly. We have no semblance of what critical thinking actually is. For thinking for ourselves and thinking critically and asking questions about things that we're told. People don't do that. At least not here. Maybe, when we went up to Idaho, it seemed like people thought about things a little bit, but not where we're at now. People are not questioning anything. I mean, you pointed out earlier, they'll put their mask on, even if they're vaccinated.
Yeah.
And it's like, wasn't that the whole fucking point of you getting vaccinated? You didn't want to put a mask on?
Yeah.
But now you're putting masks on because they said that the rules changed. The rule changed in LA. At midnight, all of a sudden COVID works at midnight. He's working overtime, triple shift, getting hazard pay, working at midnight, getting people infected just at midnight, apparently.
Yeah, it's just become another thing that people do as soon as they get out of their car.
Yeah. Yeah.
Before they go into a building.
There's some people wear it in their car. I mean, we see that too. We see some people still wearing like gloves and shit, walking around with gloves and a mask. And it's in daylight by themselves, away from others. And I don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't know if it's just like it's become such a pattern thing. There is a little bit of a trend of people who they like masks and they want to keep wearing masks even after everything is done and over with.
The ugly people, right?
Yeah, it's usually ugly people. And it's usually people that...
Or people with blue hair.
Or people with blue hair. Yeah, because they're like, I don't trust them. There's no way that everybody's vaccinated. And that's fine. If you want to wear a mask forever, do it in a bank and see what the fuck happens to you. Because that security guard is going to tackle the shit out of you. There used to be rules that you couldn't protest with masks on because the police need to see who the fuck you are, and now it's become second nature. I wonder if it's part of their little new world strategy of, we can kind of hide the criminals because they can wear masks because of COVID. But then also we can make people be sheeps and wear masks because of COVID. So it's like a double-ended thing where they've accomplished both feats. Do you think that that's possibly what it is?
Maybe.
Or they just like dick measuring and controlling us?
I think it's the control factor.
It's just all control.
Yeah.
They get off with that like control thing, huh?
And it's just so easy.
Yeah.
The fear is so good with control,
I think so.
You put out the right propaganda and people will watch it and they'll follow it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's strange. I pointed out to you earlier how all these scientists, experts that are telling you to get the vaccine or do this or do that or put the mask on or whatever are the most unhealthy looking people in the world. I mean, it's not like a bodybuilder is telling me, "Yo, you got to get the vaccine, man. I'm healthy. Look at me. I'm getting the vaccine."
Some like Iron Man triathlon.
Some triathlete or some ultra marathon runner who runs like 120 miles across the desert. I would take my health advice from people like that. I would not want to take my health advice from overweight, short scientists with bad skin and double chins who probably eat cheeseburgers every day after work. Those people clearly don't give a shit about their own health. They should probably shut up about everybody else's health. Because if they don't even have the discipline to make themselves healthy, them being the experts and knowing what makes you healthy allegedly, they don't even follow their own advice. Or perhaps they are following their advice and their advice led them to be that person that looks like that, So I don't want to call any of them out directly, but there's a couple of you up there on Twitter, you dumbass scientists, that you think by promoting the vaccine that you're doing a good job. If you're going to do that, do me a favor, and you want people like me to believe you, make your Twitter picture something more flattering, or Photoshop some abs or muscles, because most of the time it's an egg-shaped head that has multiple chins, gray hair or no hair, and they have vision problems. Yeah, that's the person I want fucking health advice from. Yeah.
Mr. Toad.
Yeah, exactly. It's like Mr. Toad. But I'll tell them what they can do with their health advice. They can shove it up their ass.
Oh, okay.
So,
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah. I'm just astonished that people listen to people like that. And I'm astonished that I used to be one of those people.
Double chinned and egg shaped?
No, not one of those people.
Oh, okay.
No, I used to be one of the people that listened to those people. And I'm glad I'm not one of those people anymore. But I used to be, I whatever the news said, that's what was going on. And whatever my professor says and whatever school says, that must be the truth. And
Yeah, it's in a textbook.
Yeah, they wouldn't have put it in a book unless it's true. Boy, my little mind at that time. And it's funny that I'm not that way anymore, and I can look back at it. But there will be people that are always going to be that way.
Oof.
And then we'll never be able to look back at it and change.
Yeah, I work with them.
Oh man. I do too. I do too. I would say a good, probably 90% of my colleagues are vaccinated for a virus that they have 99.97% chance of surviving. And they did so because the man on TV told them that it was a good idea to do so. And I have coworkers that have autoimmune disorders, and they got the vaccine, even though you probably shouldn't have, because it's going to cause an autoimmune disorder.
It's all right. Half of them were placebo anyways.
I don't know. According to Dr. Judy Moskovitz,
she said half are placebo.
Yeah, she says that 50% of these injections are just saline, which I hope she's right. And I hope all of them are saline.
It's going to be the boosters that are going to be the real deal.
Yeah. Right now, it's funny. I think today it just came out that they're suggesting boosters at 6 months for the most vulnerable.
Oof.
So the oldest people. And it's kind of like, I thought the vaccine works. If the vaccine works, what the fuck do you need a booster for?
They want that money.
They're not getting paid extra money for the booster. The government is paying for all these vaccines because they're printing money as though money, it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, they're inflating.
Yeah.
That's what they want.
But the government is paying for all the vaccines. So it's not like they're starving for money. And the government's doing all their advertising for them by putting all these stupid billboards up from all these different health departments in California and other states. Get your vaccine, get your vaccine. Even on freeway, electronic freeway signs. Don't forget to get your vaccine. Go to COVID, .org or whatever the fuck they have you go to schedule your vaccine or to find where the next internment camp is. And it's remarkable. I just will never, is it ever going to end? Are they going to have boosters every 6 months?
I don't know.
What's the deal? What's the deal going to be?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know.
We'll see.
I think that we'll get to a point where maybe some more people will wake up and they'll be like, this doesn't seem right. I got to get another booster, but I thought that the first one was okay.
God, I hope so.
But then again, if you're talking to yourself and you sound like that, you're probably not going to wake up. You're going to keep being asleep. Then you're going to go home and you're going to turn on the TV screen and watch some NFL and eat something fried.
Yeah.
Because that's what Americans do. Instead of opening up a fucking book and learn how to grow some chickens and feed yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Figure out how to circumvent
the
government.
This totalitarian terrorist government we have in this country that wants to control and conquer you completely. It's a sad state of affairs when people who are idiots like me are telling other idiots on the internet that they're being idiots.
Oh my God.
I'm not smart. This is that.
I'm SMRT.
You are SMRT. You got your degrees.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got educated.
Sure did.
I got educated in creating
You got
films.
educated.
In videos.
Edumacated.
I got educated. But I don't know dick about most, science type stuff other than what I've read. But I definitely know I've read more than most normal people on
True.
things.
True.
So,
And I know what my heart says.
yeah.
And it says, eat healthy food. Please.
Feed me good chicken that's not sad and filled with blood clots.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're sad.
Oh boy. Well, with that, I think we should close it out. And because we didn't do it last time, let's remind everybody where they can find us.
Yes. Well, we're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Podbean at False Reality Check.
Yeah. You can check us out on Twitter at FRCpod and email us at frcpodcast@protonmail.com.
Yes. Please email us. Shout it again to Rob. Thanks for the emails.
Thanks, Rob. We will look forward to communication. Hopefully my wife will show me the barn owl.
Yeah, that's right.
And we're also on Float and Gab at False Reality Check. And don't forget to join Swan Bitcoin at swanbitcoin.com/false reality check. You can buy Bitcoin daily, weekly, and you really help out the podcast. Shout out to whoever is signing up with Swan because we did get referrals, and I really appreciate you. And I hope you're stacking sats because I know I am. And we're gonna be rich one day, fool. We're gonna conquer this. We'll take over.
Yes.
But
thank you guys for listening, and
we love you guys.
love you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.